Okay, we're recording. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
I noticed you've been struggling a little bit in picking out some of the things that can give you clues as to what's happening in the book that you're reading. So what I've done together is set up an exercise that we can write down and use a graphic organizer and write down what some of the causes and effects of a specific situation that you're reading about within the book. That way you can have a better retention and comprehension of what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to read my section and give you an example of certain things. When you're reading about cause and effects, there's a lot of what we call signal words. Signal words are such words as accordingly, because, consequently, as a result, therefore, so, then, to this end. You can help identify specific identities of cause and effect that's written in the text. Okay, so I'm going to start reading my section and listen for some of those words within the text as I read. Alright, now this is a warning on climate change. As the world gets hotter by degrees, millions of poor people will suffer from hunger, thirst, floods, and disease unless drastic action is taken. I think there was one of those words in that sentence. All of the regions of the world will change, with the risk that nearly a third of the Earth's species will vanish if global temperatures rise just 3.6 degrees above the average temperature in the 1980s and 1990s. The new climate report says areas that are now have too little rain will become much drier. Yet, that grim and still preventable future is a toned-down prediction, a corporate compromise brokered in a fierce around-the-clock debate among scientists and bureaucrats. Officials from some governments managed to win some weakened wording. And while some scientists were angered at losing some ground, many praised the report as the strongest warning ever that nations must cut back on greenhouse gas emissions. So as we look at this, you can see that there's a lot of information presented in these short paragraphs. So I would think to myself, what statement in here best connects greenhouse gas emissions and the information from the first and second paragraphs? Is it greenhouse gas emissions cause increased rain and flooding? Is it endangered species would survive if greenhouse gases were reduced? Losing ground does not result from greenhouse gas emissions, or greenhouse gases cause global warming. So if we were going to break this down and show, our situation, our effect is global warming. Okay, the situation is that we have too much stuff coming out, all right, and the companies using these chemicals are causing the situation. The effect is the whole world changing because of that. Okay, now in the next paragraph is going to be a different topic, and what it is we'll each alternate reading a paragraph, thinking about those particular words that will indicate a cause or effect. And if you can, just use your graphic organizer and write down the trigger word that is telling you, is it a cause, is it effect, or is it just a general situation? Okay? Alright, the first paragraph.
High fructose corn syrup is a sweetener used in many processed foods ranging from sodas to baked goods. While the ingredient is cheaper and sweeter than regular sugar, new research suggests that it can also make you fatter.
Did you notice the trigger word right there? While the ingredient is cheaper than regular sugar, research suggests that it'll make you fatter. Doesn't that kind of suggest something that you could write into your graphic organizer? I'll pick up with the second paragraph while you're writing. In a small study, Texas researchers showed that the body converts fructose to body fat with surprising speed. Associate professor of University of Texas conducted a study which appears in the Journal of Nutrition, which shows how glucose and fructose, which are forms of sugar, are metabolized differently. Okay, section 3, please.
In humans, triglycerides, which are a type of fat in the blood, are mostly formed in the liver. Dr. Parks said the liver acts like a traffic cop who coordinates how the body uses dietary sugars. When the liver encounters glucose, it decides whether the body needs to store it, burn it for energy, or turn it into triglycerides.
There was another pretty good keyword there, wasn't it? You know, when the liver encounters glucose, it decides whether the body needs to store it, burn it. It seems like what does that seem like? Is that a cause? Is that an effect? Or is that part of the situation?
Cause.
So how the body is processing the sugar is the cause of the problem. Okay. Don't you think that from what it's saying though is that this particular type of sugar, although it's cheaper and better for the businesses, makes us more fat because our body just dumps it right into fat instead of uses it for energy. You know, so you might want to think of that as being part of the situation. That's not the cause of it, but our use of it is one of the causes of it. Apparently our cat is wanting to participate in our studies. Okay. So let's start with section 4.
But when fructose enters the body, it bypasses the process and ends up being quickly converted to body fat.
Good self-correction there. The researchers found that lipogenesis, the process by which sugars are turned into body fat, increased significantly when the study subjects drank drinks with high fructose. When fructose was given at breakfast, the body was more likely to store the fats eaten at lunch. That doesn't sound very good. 6.
Dr. Parks noted that the study likely underestimated the fat-building effect of fructose because the study subjects were lean and healthy. In overweight people, the effect may be amplified.
Oh. So that seems like it would be something you definitely want to highlight in a cause, is the condition of your body at the time of these drinks. I would definitely want to write that down in causes, you know? Although fruit contains fructose, it also contains many beneficial nutrients, so dieters shouldn't eliminate fruit from their diets. But limiting processed foods containing high fructose corn syrup, as well as curbing calories, is a good idea, said Dr. Parks. So what do you think the most likely reason that high fructose corn syrup is used in processed foods? You can just read the answers. Which one do you think? Just read the answer.
Okay. It is cheaper and sweeter than sugar.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so the situation of us using this sugar substitute causes obesity, and the effect is our health decreases, right? Okay. How did high fructose corn syrup in drinks affect the bodies of the people in the study group?
Turned into fat more rapidly.
Very good. So the fact that fructose was there caused the sugar to turn to fat faster. And there you can see right here in your diagram, it's forming that triangle again. You know, the situation of the fructose being present causes the sugar effect of fat buildup. Okay? And the last question was, in paragraph 7, the author notes that fruit contains fructose. How might this information affect a dieter's food plan? If you think about the diagram and the way that the question is written, if I think that all forms of fructose are bad and I need to go on a diet, am I going to include fruits that are high in fructose?
No.
No. So just using the diagram alone, not even reading the question, you can think and say, ooh, if I don't actually understand how that was written and what types of sugar are bad for me, I might say, ooh, a no fruit diet would be good. But then you'd miss out on all those healthy benefits of the fruit, right? Okay. So next time when you're reading, why don't you try keeping this graphic organizer in your little binder, and that way use it. Write into it. Every time you fill it out, just give it to me, I'll give you a new one, and we can move on and try to make sure that you can really tell what's happening within the paragraphs you're reading. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.